What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Sunday Show. My name's Andrew with Brews and Board Games, and I hope everyone is having a fantastic week. It's been about a week since I made the last video. I took some time off. I do believe it's good to take some time off from things that you're doing. You know, get a little refresher, come back, hit it strong, come back with some new ideas, and that's exactly what I did. I was doing some things during that time, like for when I do playthroughs or reviews, I wanted to put like an image on the thumbnail itself, kind of letting you guys know what it was. So I was slapping some things together, but I ended up liking this thing so much that I tweaked it a little bit, and I'm going to use it as the new logo for the channel going forward. I just really like this thing. I think it adds a little bit of color. It just pops a little bit more. It just overall looks better to me. So yeah, so we're just going to use that for the logo going forward. I hope you guys like it. I do still really like this thing. I made this myself, this logo here. And you know, this whole wooden piece back here, I slapped some wood together. And I put that logo on there just using freehand and a ruler. And then I painted it. So that is still going to stick around, I guess, until I get something else with the new logo on there. But either way, that might still stick around anyway somehow. So I hope you guys like it. Let me know what you think. I'm very excited for that. So a little channel update right there. So let's just move into the picture of the day, because this seems to be becoming a normal thing now. So all these drawings that I've been showing you guys, and still, besides the first one of the Cloudspire factions, this was still my drawings from a kid, from when I was a kid. Jesus. So this one right here, this one's pretty cool. I usually, like I said before, I usually only use pen, and I only used black pen. But for some reason, I must have just said, you know what, I want to make it pop a little bit with this red pen. So that's what I did. It is pen, right? Yeah, it's pen, so it's red pen. So I'll still using a red pen and not even a red pencil. And I don't know what this is from. Is this some sort of Warhammer stuff? It looks like it. And you can see I even put, like, I used to write my initials on somewhere in the picture, so I just put it on this flag here. Yeah, I don't know where this is from, so let me know if you guys know. I think it's Warhammer. It definitely looks like it. I was into Warhammer at one point when I was a kid. I got an army. I painted up some of the guys. I didn't have anybody to play with though, so I ended up selling it to I forget who it was, but yeah, really enjoyed it. So yeah, I really like this picture. I thought it was really cool. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoy that. And from there, I do just want to move into giving you guys a small shout out. I feel like not long ago, I was doing the thank you 100 subscribers video, doing the giveaway, and now we've hit over 600 the other day, and I'm very happy with how everything's gone. I really appreciate everything from everybody. All the subscribers, all the comments you guys have given. Some of you are just my regulars commenting on most of the videos, and I want to give you guys a special shout out. We're talking Anthony Alanis, Steven Jones, Yag Sipk. I don't know if that's a username or your name, brother. I'm sorry. And forgive me if I butchered that. Evan Watkins, Henrik L., and there's others. Rufus the Man, Michael Brown, and plenty more. So I do want to give you guys a special shout out, but seriously, thank you to everybody that subscribed and comments. You guys and the conversations we've been having is why I'm doing this. It's been cool finding out more about you guys and you guys finding out more about me. It's just been awesome, and I really do appreciate it. Please keep that stuff up. Again, it's why I do it, and I love to see it on the videos. You know, and even if you disagree with what I'm saying, that's fine. Just let me know. You know, it's fine. Everybody's going to have different opinions. We're all not going to think the same. But it's just cool talking with you guys. If you guys can help me out, I can help you out. That's cool. We're kind of creating like this small community, and I love it. It's fantastic. And like I said, we did hit 600 subs. The goal that I'm shooting for right now is 1,000. I think we can definitely get there. I am going to do another game giveaway if we do get to 1,000. I don't know which game yet. I do want to do something a little bit more meaty and beefy than 7 Wonders that I did before. But seriously, if you guys like the content, you watch occasionally and you're not subscribed, please think about subscribing and commenting and liking. It does seriously help out. If you guys comment, I make it a priority to get back to everybody. So moving on to games that I played. Like I mentioned before, I played a few games of Too Many Bones, getting ready to do the review, getting a little refresher. So one of the games I played, Nugget versus Nom. Nugget is one of the expansion characters. But I won pretty easily. I love Nugget. I think she is a solid character, that long blade. And then I was using Nugget's dagger. So it's like it puts that bleed effect on the enemies. I love bleed, putting the bleed onto the enemies. I just think it's a solid thing. Like if you can put the bleed effect on there and they're taking damage every round, dude, you're making, the bleed is working for you. So you don't have to be doing damage every single time. They're still taking damage. So I won pretty easily. Nam has that club that it can knock you across the thing, but with the mat. But with Nugget's ranged attacks, it wasn't that big of a deal. And then plus his little innate ability where he heals one every round, I put the bleed effect on him that kind of negated that whole thing. So I won pretty easily. I really like Nugget. The next game I played was Gilly versus the Goblin Queen. Now when I was using Gilly, I really like Gilly as well. When I was using Gilly, I took the path of the Ranger. So I was beefing up all my arrows, doing the multi-arrow, the Buster. And then what was the other one called? The Marked Enemy, where you can do double damage. I think even triple, right? Now, double damage and 2 sides are bones. But with the Goblin Queen, she had the guard, right? If you guys ever played against the Goblin Queen. So she's got one guard that's on the board, and it just kind of rotates, not rotates, but swaps positions, A and B, A and B. So you have to go through that guard, essentially, to get to the Goblin Queen. And the Goblin Queen's special is that you can't do any damage to her. You have, like if you're ranged, you have to be right next to the Goblin Queen. So it kind of shuts down any kind of ranged attacks, because that's probably what they found out, right? Okay, you have to go through this path if you're melee, but ranged attackers can just be popping shots off at her. But the guard was not enough. I just did ranged attacks against the guard, and then I was able to get up right in her face, do the Marked Enemy, do a bunch of damage. I was just, it felt a little too easy for Gilly. Maybe that's that Ranger path. Maybe I could have done the companions, or they are called companions, right? Zoo Linguist or the Trapper. But it was fun doing that Ranger path. I really enjoyed it. And then the last one that I did was Gasket versus Marrow. I got demolished against Marrow. Everything leading up to the battle was fine, the boss battle, like all throughout the other encounters. But once I got to Marrow, he has his Tyrant die. He can call other, is it orcs? It's either orcs or, I think it's orcs. But he can call other orcs, and he also has rating, which says if they roll an additional attack die for every orc type baddie on the board. So, and most of the orcs have that. So he would call another orc onto the board if he rolled bones, which he did like every roll. And he's already rolling 3 attack dice. So he would get other orcs onto the board. So then he's rolling like 4 attack dice, 5 attack dice, which isn't, it's not the most terrible thing. But what happened was his Tyrant die also says, like I would put a bleed on him because I was using Gasket. And I put I think it's Cut. So I put Cut on him. So he was bleeding. Okay, good, solid, right? But then he had a Tyrant die that basically said if he rolled that face, clear off any negative status effects on his chip, and then he would move back to the ranged 3 column, and then he would heal 3 health. So it was just kind of like, I would do a huge attack against him, and he has thick skin 3 anyway. So it's kind of tough already getting through. And he's rolling like, I think, 3 defense dice? Something stupid. So I would whittle down the shields, get through his thick skin 3 to do some damage, put the Cut on him so he's taking another damage, but then he would just wipe all the negative status effects and go back and heal, call other orcs, so he's rolling even more attack dice. I just got whooped. I did try again the next day because I lost the first day, and then I got whooped even harder. But it was fun. I really like Gasket. Played a few games of Spirit Island, Vital Strength of the Earth. That's that big golem, dude. I got smashed. I really got smashed. Playing a solo player again. I couldn't make the powers work for me. It was something. I love the innate power of your double stack spirit tokens. Provide 3 defense. That really came in handy in defending against some of these the spots. But dude, I couldn't make the powers work. I was like, I was saving up to do a big combo because none of the powers were really working. Like I would have spent a lot to do just a very small amount on the board. So I was like, okay, I'll save that to bank for a future turn. And it never really presented itself. And by that time, I was already getting too much blight on the board. The game just ran away from me. However, then I did play River Surges in Sunlight, again solo. And I really like that power of like if you have one spirit token in the wetland, it counts as 2. And you're able to really push around all of the invaders a lot. So I was able to win, and now it's a really cool thing if you can make that work. You know, just kind of pushing the invaders because you're looking at the invader deck. You know, see what's coming. So you can kind of manipulate the board a little bit to play around that. It's a little tricky, but I did end up pulling out in that game. I was pretty happy with that. And then the last one is Fog of Love. Not a game you guys would really catch me playing, but my wife, when I was just getting into board games, she bought Fog of Love. You know, and it's kind of, Fog of Love is, you're both acting, right? You draw an occupation, some traits. So you got to make up a name and stuff like that. I think it was Federico Nahales, something like that. I was a politician, and she was like a TV star. So you interact with each other and you have to get your traits up. You know, you can be like charming, nice, deceitful, trustworthy. So you got to put these tokens on the board. And if you fulfill your traits, by the end of the game, you get points, and you have to get your little, it's got this little card where you take this token around on some like hearts or stuff like that. I did end up winning. I fulfilled 3 of my traits, but the main objective, we both failed because of something that happened right at the end. We both fulfilled it right before this final card said to do a certain thing, and we both failed the main objective. But however, she only fulfilled 2 of her 3 traits, and I fulfilled all 3. So it was pretty cool. We played the tutorial version. I feel like every time we play the tutorial because we don't play for like another year or 2. So we got to learn the whole game again. But that sparked something an idea that we have, which is I think we're going to try to do a keep or sell, keep or call, whatever you want to call it. So we were kind of discussing, and at first I was like, is this game going to be on there? Right? Because I was like, it's all right, but got to make space. And at first she was against it, but after playing this tutorial the latest time, she was like, maybe we should put it on there. So we want to play it one more time without playing the tutorial, and then maybe we'll do a small review, maybe with another game of both of those games, and then say whether we want to keep or get rid of it. So from there, we are going to move on to some updates in the industry. We're going to go over some Kickstarter updates as well as some Gamefound updates. So I'm going to switch the angle so we can look at the laptop, and then we'll get right into it. All right, guys, here we go. Let's cover some updates, and then we'll cover some campaigns that are on Kickstarter and Gamefound. All right, so first up is going to be Ankh. There was a shipping update. Asia all pledges delivered. Australia hub, all shipped out. UK, all containers are arriving at the port right now. Shipping out mid-July. EU, some delayed, likely start later part of the month. And one of the 9 containers was delayed. US, 4 containers have already arrived. 2 more are arriving today. That was a few days ago. 2 next week and 1 at the end of the month. So pledges are about to start arriving at hub for distribution, and the 3 containers that were held back have finally been released and should arrive in mid-August. Canada, the containers have finally released and should arrive in mid-August. So the games are going to start coming very soon, probably in the next few weeks, at least for the US where I am. Very exciting. Frosthaven, there were some delays. If we go to the timeline update, basically to sum it up, Isaac underestimated how long it was going to take for some of these edits. I think there's a lot of editing to do, at least in the rules text of the scenario book. So basically he has to go through, and he said he's doing a deep dive into the editing on that, and then afterwards he's going to have to send that over to some of the I think, what did he say, the graphic design team, something like that, graphic designers, to make a new draft of the laid out documents and in a more finalized presentation. And then after he gets that back, he's going to have to go through and deep dive, edit or not edit again, but deep dive again, just to make sure everything still looks okay. So he's predicting a few months delay. So basically, he says here, let's just call it 2 months that they might be finished the product. But then afterwards, he's talking about freight shipping afterwards. Freight shipping is real bad, like he said. And then, so he's basically saying also, he doesn't think they're going to send out all the games at once. There's a lot of games, so he's probably going to have to send them out little by little. So basically, to wrap it up, he said, I wouldn't expect it until early next year. So unfortunate, but delays happen. So let's get into some exciting stuff. Mythic Battles Ragnarok. They put out a survey a while ago. The results are in. There's some pretty cool stuff on here. Some of the stuff really isn't important, at least to me. It's just talking about tournament stuff, what was the other? Colored bases, stuff like that. But there were a few really cool ones. There's a tournament scene. Next iteration. So a majority of the people, 64%, said they would like to see a new iteration of Mythic Battles in 2023 compared to 30% later than that. So they said they're going to start working on that rate 1 production for Ragnarok starts. Pretty cool. Also, with that being said, they polled some of the new pantheons that people want to see in the upcoming releases, and Japanese and Celtic were at the highest, followed by my man Conan. That's pretty cool. I would love to see some Japanese stuff, some samurai and stuff like that. I think that would be awesome, dude. So that's pretty interesting. They said the pledge manager is still coming out this month. And they're just wrapping up some things. 2023 will be, thanks to you, the year of the next release. And they also said something else here as well. Many comments were surprised that no Central or South American myths were proposed. And it says there is a reason for that. Namely, we already have plans for that. Pretty cool. So I don't know if it's going to be in the 2023. That's when you're going to see the either Central or South American myths, or that's where you're going to see. I would imagine they're probably going to do Japanese or Celtic. I would imagine Japanese, since that was the highest voted one by 11% or more than that. So I would imagine it's either going to be that or the Central or South American. I don't know, but pretty cool. I would love to see Conan, but they're already doing some crossover stuff, so that's not that big of a deal. And then Chronicles of Drunagor. Shout out to my man Henrik L. I was reading your comment, brother, when you I was actually looking at this as well when you commented. So that's pretty cool. So Chronicles of Drunagor, they have an update out. Campaign video is here. It's pretty cool. Give it a watch. And then also it says here, this is the most important thing. Be aware that the next week, 7 days before launch, there's currently 9 days left. 7 days before launch, we will present all the information you've requested about prices, pledges, content, VAT, and much more, because that's been a big thing, right? How much is all this stuff going to cost? I mean, you're getting it on the tail end of Wild Ascent, Mythic Battles, Ragnarok. There's a bunch of others that just released. I'm having a brain fart right now. Six Siege. There's a bunch that have been releasing right now. So people are, at least for me, I'm like, dude, how much is this shit going to cost, right? Because I can't be going in on every single one. So this to me is in 2 days. They're going to have a lot more information. Very exciting. Very exciting. I'm really looking forward to this one. I really like this. And the dude, in the video, they were going through these horseman things, these minis, and these horsemen were taking up just a massive amount of space on the board, right? And then the final horseman that they brought out, dude, it was riding this huge dragon. And it was like, it made the other huge minis look small. It was epic. And then let's move on to Soul Raiders. So Soul Raiders, from what I gathered, this is a story kind of game. You're going to be playing through a story, and you're going to be playing as one of these Soul Raiders. The game looks pretty simple from what I'm gathering. Basically, you're going to be able to choose your own paths and stuff like that. It says an immersive setting, 3 chapters of a story that can be played over and over again. So one of the things that I like about this game, from what I've seen, over 120 oversized double-sided location sheets. they have these locations right here. As you can see, these are some of them here. And I wonder if there's a better view. Like this is one right here on the screen. Like stuff like this. I'm just trying to find a better. Okay, so like this is one right here. All of those are double-sided. And as you can see, like they're a decent size. I really like that idea, these double-sided things. Also, it's not, you know, you can mix and match, right? I would imagine. So I really like that idea. Instead of having one huge board, you know, while I still like that, I do think this is cool to see every once in a while with these double-sided boards. You know, same amount of real estate. You know, it doesn't require a whole other huge box for all these other game tiles. They're just double-sided, and you get a lot more map. I think that's a really cool idea. But basically, this seems pretty simple. Like, you're going to have certain cards that are going to allow you to move, take like a fighting action, stuff like that. I see some portal cards on here. So you'll be able to combine these, as you can see on the screen right here. I don't necessarily understand this 2 and 2 equals 6. I know it says +1 action on this card, on this like fight card right here, but maybe there's something in there that says if you combine these two cards, you get another +2 modifier to equal 6. But basically, you're going to use these cards, from what I gather, for a majority of different things. Like, you're going to have these move cards right here. And so I think if you like play this, you're going to be able to move 2, like it says on the top of the card, and you can move that many spaces on the board. Also, you could use this card, as you can see in this example here, to combine and just use the number that's in there to combine with like a fight card to now give yourself a higher value to fight things. So I think these cards are going to have multiple uses. I like that idea. I do think that's pretty cool. And they do seem to have some pretty cool player mechanics. Like I was just talking about this portal stuff right here. You can play this portal card and essentially like warp to another board. There's some of them where you can essentially, like if you combine a certain amount of numbers, like if you equal 5, I think that was the example, you can flip the board and you would essentially go to the other side of the board, like to a different place. I think that's a really cool idea. It does seem very simple. I thought this box was cool. Basically, this box is like magnetic. So when you go to shut the box, it's got a magnetic seal, and then, so it looks like a tome as well. I think that's a really cool idea. The components look cool. You can get upgraded stuff. You can get like upgraded portals, upgraded coins. The minis look really cool. I'm digging all that stuff. I don't think this one's for me though. Mainly because I just don't see when I'm going to be able to play it. There's too many games coming out, and then plus for this price. This is from, I didn't mention it, this is from One for All. This is their first created project. And plus, the price is like $131 for the Grimoire edition. I don't know how to say it. And then $84 for the standard. While this game looks interesting, this is the type of game I wish a buddy had, so then me and them could play. But something that I wouldn't purchase. There's too many other games that need to get played, and I just see this, like if it comes, I just don't see it getting played. And plus, I don't know, with the first game created, there's a whole set of question marks that go along with that as well. One cool thing to note here is it says the hero's points, called Vitae, I don't know, a common pool of life. When one hero takes damage, the whole team will face the consequences. That's a pretty cool thing, right? You don't see that too often. I do think this game looks good. I like the artwork on there. I was having a little bit of trouble determining like what the spots are, like what the spaces are on the board. I guess you'll be able to see it better like when you have the board in front of you, like where do your minis actually go. Yeah, and then there's no player turn in Soul Raiders. During the heroes phase, each player can act independently from one another and simultaneously. This eliminates downtime between actions, yada yada. That's pretty cool. I do like some of the things that I'm seeing. I think it looks simple. I like the artwork. I love the double-sided board. I love being able to take your turn at the same time as everybody else. The hero health pool seems pretty cool, but again, I think for this price, with too many games coming out, And also I just don't see it getting to the table that often. Again, this is one I wish a buddy had so we could play it. I'm still curious. I would love to play this eventually. So that is going to be Soul Raiders. You got 84 US for the standard edition, 131 for the Grimoire edition, and I think that is it, correct? Yeah, I think so. But it looks cool. Looks cool. So let's go over to Gamefound, and we're going to be talking about platformer. This one looks pretty cool. I'm really interested. I don't think I'm going to back this, but I love this idea. This is from Awakened Realms Light. So this is a platformer. If you guys don't know what a platformer is, think like Super Mario, right? You got to jump on these different platforms and so on and so forth. But the cool thing is this is like a competitive game for, I think, 1 to 4 players. Yeah, there it is. But there's like different, you go up essentially. I think you can go over a little bit too, but you're essentially going up, and it's competitive. So you can like do different things to like knock the people you're playing against like off the platforms. And there's like a gravity mechanic, and like they go down a certain amount and fall on a different platform. You can like throw enemies at them. You can throw them into enemies, do different things like that. I think the artwork on the boards themselves, I love it. It looks like a modern day platformer game. I think it looks really cool. It's like simple art. It's kind of eerie. I think it looks really cool. The minis themselves, they look cool. I do like them, and we'll talk about that in a second. These dice look sick. These dice look sick. I'm really enjoying that. I think overall it looks like a really cool game. You know, everything looks like it's uncovered until you get to that spot. You uncover it, to see what it entails. But then here it says 2 to 4. So I don't know if they added some sort of solo mode or what. I think they definitely should. It seems like it'd be an easy thing with some enemies on the board. You know, if like you go to a different platform, there's some enemies on there. I think it sounds possible. So this is for 44 euros. You can get, there's only a single pledge, and then they have like a retailer edition. But if you followed, you already get 4 euros off, so that helps. So 40 euros. But one thing back on the minis, I've heard other people say that, and that's the first thing I noticed as well. They had like an example. I probably scrolled over it a bunch of times already. But if you can see on the board, I don't know how far I need to go down here. Let's go. Oh, it did say solo mode right there. I just passed by. All right, so let's go back up. Maybe there's a better shot. All right, so let's go to, we'll just stick right here because this is the first one I'm seeing. So the minis, while they look cool, you're going up. So like, let's pretend this is going up this way, right? This is like to the north, to directly up vertical. The minis are going to be horizontal if you're thinking about it from that point of view. Right now they're standing vertical because the board's horizontal, but thematically the board is supposed to be going up, and the minis are essentially laying on their side. Why not actually take them and lay them on their side, you know, and put some sort of flat, you know, like this, the stand that they were on is on their back essentially. You know, you can still make them look cool, like in a cool pose or something like that. They're just kind of like on the table itself, they're like laying down essentially. But if they're put on the board and you're thinking about it going vertical, it looks like it's matching the, you know, it's going up. I think they should really do that. They should really consider doing that, because right now it just kind of looks a little weird. Everything else about the game looks awesome. Look, it's climb on platforms, fight monsters, gather gold, points, items, and most importantly, race with your friends. It's like a racing game. So I think this one looks cool, looks simple. But again, the only thing that I would think I would change about this is just those minis standing up. Just lay them down on their side. I think it would look so much better. And the last one I wanted to cover is Volfyirion Guilds. This is a deck building game where you're essentially playing these cards and you're gathering a resource. I don't know exactly what the resource is called, but with those resources, you can see that here. With those resources, you can then essentially like purchase other cards. So you can gather more powerful cards to add those to your deck. You can weed out cards that you don't want anymore, so you're making your deck even better, a deck builder, right? And you essentially have these 3 cities, And once those cities are destroyed, you lose the game. So you're trying to destroy your opponent's city. It's a head-to-head. They're trying to destroy your city. And you have Volfyirion, who's off to the side, and it's like this mini in the game. And basically, he has these special cards that you can get to add to your tableau, or not tableau, but add to your city. You can add different cards to your city to make your this city stronger. You can add guards to the cities to make them even stronger. And so it's almost like kind of like you're trying to get more resources. So you're trying to build up your deck so you can get more resources every turn to then perform more actions. We have some cool artwork. I'm really digging the artwork. I think that looks really cool. The game seems simple enough. It doesn't look like it's too complex. I mean, you can see there's just not much symbology on them, which is fine. The artwork looks really cool. I'm really digging that. This sounds interesting. This does sound interesting. I don't think it was too expensive. I mean, it essentially is a card game. As you can see here, Volfyirion Guilds Retail Edition, $17 US. That's not bad, right? You have these play mats that you can get as well, and that's probably in a different pledge. Dragon Pledge, $18. Volfyirion Guilds Kickstarter Edition, $29, so still not that bad, right? You get a core box, 2 monster cards, 2 Kickstarter exclusive monster cards, solo challenges. All right. I don't think you get the play mats yet. 55. Maybe this is the play mats. Yep, 2 play mats right here. So still 55. So it's not too bad. It does, again, look like a simple card game. Now, I watched a little bit of Board Game Co.'s coverage of this game, and it looked pretty cool. There was one thing that kind of stood out to me about in his section where he said what he didn't like, and that was kind of the turns, right? Now he kind of said you're essentially just trying to get more resources to then do different things. I don't know if I want that in like a card game like this. To me, thematically, this looks like, hey, I play this, I don't want to compare it straight up to Magic or other card games, but I mean, you got like dragons, dude. You got like cool, like look at this guy right here. Dude, you have like just these awesome characters. And if all they're essentially going to do is just add like a defense value, like it just doesn't, I wish it would be more instead of just being like, oh, playing these cards got me this amount of resources, which are just allowing me to buy other cards, right? And then these cards are saying I have X amount of attack. I'm just using that attack at that city. I mean, I don't know because I haven't played the game, but I guess to me, I would want a more, almost a thematic experience, right? I'm looking at these cards. I'm like, dude, this guy has like this, what is this yellow thing in his hand? Like, what is this pioneer here? This with this cool staff. Does that staff do anything? Yeah, it gains you 2 more resources, right? Like, I think I would just want something else. Like when I'm looking at this board, dude, I'm expecting like some sort of battle, right? You're battling. This card's going over here, and maybe you're like comboing off, and you're just being like, all right, this card and this card are like making this attack, while this over here is doing this certain thing. I don't know. I would need to play it, but the game isn't overly expensive, but I just don't know. It just looks like a simple card game that might just be a little too simple. And if it's just kind of like you're just trying to gain resources and then just building up to do an attack against one of their cities, I don't know. It might not be the most fun head-to-head game. So I don't know. I think I'm going to have to pass on this just because of that fact alone. Again, I would have to play it like all these games, right? But I don't know. It looks cool. It looks cool. I would definitely give it a shot, but this is going to be a pass for me. And that's basically going to be it. Again, like I said before, I want to thank all of you guys so much. Please keep participating. I really enjoy that. That's why I do this stuff. I really look forward to speaking with all of you. So please continue to do that. If you like the content, please like, subscribe. Truly, it helps out a lot. Hope you guys like the artwork. Hope you guys really enjoyed the new logo. I am pumped for it, and I am looking forward to more content in the future. Like I said, I'm working on the Too Many Bones review. I'm going to get a playthrough up, so I am back at it full swing. Expect more content from me coming up very soon. And that's going to be it for me. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great week. And until I see you guys, grab some brews, play some games, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, take care.